This is a video for Native Instruments Maschine Studio owners. Um, in the search for finding a protective cover for my Maschine Studio, um, I ran across another neat little thing. Uh, Basically, I was going to buy the UDG case that they make for Maschine Studio and kind of flip it open, stack it upon itself, and kind of use it as a cover in the studio, and then that way I have a carrying case when I travel with it. But what I didn't like was that you can't fit cables or anything in there with it. It's just made to firmly fit the studio by itself. I've owned like I think 5 or 6 Maschine Studios in the past, and each time I would pay, and get a deck saver, and I would put that on the Maschine Studio, and then I would put it inside one of the Gator cases, semi-rigid carry bags, and then I'm able to put my laptop and stuff in there. But this time, I said, well, I'm thinking about getting that UDG Maschine Studio case and then flipping it open, stacking it upon itself, and then using it as a cover when in the studio. Then I'd have a carry case when traveling. But the problem with that is, again, that UDG Maschine Studio carrying case doesn't allow for you to put your power supply or USB cables or anything in it. From what I can tell from the pictures, it looks like it's molded to fit the Maschine Studio, perfectly in there and snug by itself. So I contacted UDG, and because I noticed on their website, their controller hard case large is listed to be compatible with the Maschine Studio. So I contacted the company through their website and said, hey, can you send me a picture of the Maschine Studio inside of the controller, hard case large, so I could see what type of room is left in there. And they were nice enough to actually send me a picture, and with the specs and everything with the Maschine Studio in it. So I realized that, okay, well, I can get the Maschine Studio in there, and the power supply and any cables I want to carry, but I wasn't sure about my laptop. So I just arrived today, opened it up, and figured I might have to do some modifications to it if it was at least thick enough to fit, my Maschine Studio and a laptop in there, maybe by doing a cutout within the foam. So, but surprisingly, I won't have to do any modifications. Let me show you something. And again, this is the UDG controller hard case large by the company. This UDG. And they're very, very good customer service because, like I said, they sent me that picture as I requested. So as you can see, my Maschine Studio fits in there beautifully. And the case is foam at the top and the bottom. So we knew that it would fit in there based on the picture they sent me. And again, this is the Maschine Studio, the larger one. Now here's the surprise though. Voila. My 13-inch MacBook Pro actually does fit in this case along with the Maschine Studio, because its depth of the case itself allows for, the 13-inch MacBook Pro to actually sit down in there low enough to fit a Maschine Studio on top of it. Now, initially, it didn't seem like it would fit, and I realized it was toward the back end of the case. It seemed like it had some, spatial problems. But I realized what the trick to it is. When you load the laptop in here, excuse the shakiness of the video quality, I'm doing this one-handed, but when you load the laptop in here, you simply you don't want to load it centered in there, because the back end of Maschine Studio is actually thicker than the front edge, as many of you know. So all you do is basically put your laptop in, center it, and bring it toward the front of the case where the handle would be. And that evens out the spatial difference you'll have once you load the Maschine Studio on top of it. You see? And what's cool, it's not one of those types of fits where it feels like something's smashing hard against something where it might damage. No, it actually fits like snug, perfectly snug, so that you won't have any slippage uh, of the laptop or the Machine Studio. Machine Studio won't be sliding around on top of your laptop, scratching up the laptop. Plus, I have a shell on mine anyway, but um, yeah, it fits in there, and with the way the eggshell foam is set up, it keeps everything from moving once in there, once it's closed. So there's no struggle on closing it. You see? Closes nicely. Then, once it's in there, all you do is just zip it. There's no struggle with the zipper. Look at that. Because the lips of the zipper actually extend just enough so that you don't have to push down or nothing. And again, the way that eggshell foam is set up in there, your laptop isn't sliding around, neither is the Machine Studio. You can carry it around, and when you get where you're going, you know, you open it, everything's still in the same place. Actually, I walked around my house with it before starting this video just to see if there's any slippage, and it's not. It just can't slip because of the way the eggshell foam is inside that case. So that's a little surprise I found actually in the process of looking for something else. So now I have a better all-in-one solution for transporting my Machine Studio and my MacBook Pro and the accessories to both my MacBook Pro and my Machine Studio as far as power supplies, cabling, and all of that in a one carry-all solution, which is fantastic. And again, when you get where you're going, this thing is rigid and solid enough to where you can use it as a stand. So my next test is going to be to see how this works out as a coverage solution, protective cover. What I plan on doing is opening this, flipping it open upon itself, and then using it just to set snugly on top of my Machine Studio when it's not in use, so that you know, it does some dust protection, but mainly so that my 3-year-old doesn't come in and get to, you know, randomly hitting buttons and all of that good stuff. So anyway, again, this is the controller hard case series by UDG, and this is the large version, not the extra large, the large version. And it was cheaper than getting a deck saver. The deck savers, I could not find one cheaper than 89 bucks. This thing here was $69, and it's the perfect carry solution for a Machine Studio and your laptop and your accessories that go with it. And it may work as a decent protective cover solution in the studio, which I'm going to find out later today. But anyway, thanks for watching. Goodbye.